On Thursday, July 12th, 1979, the Chicago White Sox were playing a doubleheader against the Detroit Tigers. Bill Veeck approached his son Mike to come together with an ingenious plan to put fans in the seats for the second game. Mike was stumped. He had no idea what to do, so he decided to go for a nice stroll down Michigan Avenue in downtown Chicago. Upon walking down the avenue, he overheard a treacherous noise playing from a lowrider driving by. "I absolutely hate that music," roared Mike. It was the sound of Casey and the Sunshine Band's "That's the Way I Like It." But then, just like that, he had his promotion in mind. He ultimately referred back to a local popular disc jockey that was well known for blowing up disco records live on the air. The promotion? He would call up Steve Dahl, who would gather up unwanted disco records brought by fans and blow them up in front of a live crowd with a 68-cent ticket in exchange. The White Sox management hoped for a crowd of 12,000 for their subpar idea. But to their surprise, as the gates opened, 30,000 fans showed up clutching their disco records in their arms, waiting for the game to begin. By the time the game began, 90,000 fans showed up, packed in a 52,000-seat stadium, overdoing their expectations by 7.5 times the expected amount. Most of the records were collected in the bottom of the first, in front of a sold-out crowd, more than a sold-out crowd. The records were blown up, but the disco demolition was yet to begin. The loud noise of records created a very unwanted yet very surprising riot. Fans slid down foul poles, slid into second base, made their way all over the field, creating a terrible calamity. Finally, Chicago police tamed the riot, but after that, the White Sox were forced to forfeit. But worse than that, however, Bill Veeck had no other choice but to fire his son Mike, banning him from baseball for the next 10 years. You see, the biggest common misconception is that people believe that if a particular team isn't winning, then they're going to lose fan support and ultimately lose revenue. But in reality, fans are not motivated by wins and losses, but more for entertainment. In other words, fans are there for nothing but the experience. Let's take a second and see how most teams market their product. Sure, the first thing you notice is the team itself. But then after that, teams go into something called customer demographics. This is an extensive research that gives teams the opportunity to truly understand who's coming to their games. And then, the marketing goes from there. Think about the last time that you attended a sporting event. What brought you to the game? Was it the promotion being run that night? Was it the music coinciding with the PA announcer? Or maybe it was your grade A satisfaction and the great nachos along with the dollar beer. Whatever that reason was, it was because the most successful teams want you focusing on the worldly experience of attending their events. And no, by the way, there's a sporting event going on. Believe it or not, but one of the best at this idea comes from the Citadel's backyard, right across the marsh. Mike Veeck, now one of the current owners of the Charleston River Dogs, knows and preaches that if anything else, have fun. And that's exactly what one experiences upon stepping inside Joe Raleigh Park. Just listen to some of these promotions that have been run or going to be run this year over at the Joe. For example, who could ever turn down the opportunity to attend Nickelodeon Night? This gives fans the opportunity to dress up as their favorite Nickelodeon character at a discounted price. Or who could ever forget the nationally recognized Nobody Night, when fans had the opportunity to wait outside anxiously at Joe Raleigh Park to see if they were going to partake in the all-time lowest attendance rate in professional baseball history. Okay, and now for my personal favorite. The River Dogs will be hosting the first ever Salute to Bacon Day, when fans have the opportunity to have anything on the menu wrapped around a piece of delectable, juicy bacon. Okay, I know what you're thinking. There might be a liability of a game day heart attack, but hey, at least they had fun, right? There's no wonder why Mike Veeck and the rest of the River Dog game have successfully sold out every single regular season home game since the franchise has been in Charleston for the past 16 years. Oh, and during that time, by the way, just in case you're wondering, the franchise has only made the playoffs 3 out of the past 16 years. That spells success. So there it is. Mike Veck, Bill Murray, and the rest of the River Dog gang know that the true way to buy money is by fun. Mr. Veck will tell you himself that upon entering any River Dog baseball game, people are warmly greeted by a vast world of unique experiences for every person and for every age. Money can never be forced when it comes to sales. Rather than focusing on the sale itself, focus more on the concept of why you're doing it. This is because people don't necessarily buy what you do, but why you do it. Sure, Mr. Veck has had his ups and downs in his career, but ask him about that fateful July night in Kaminsky Park, and he'll look you straight in the eye and he'll say, Jason, it was the best promotion I ever ran, and I still don't regret it.